Uh, no. And at the time, my friend used to do like copying Xbox games. That's why I'm an Xbox user. Because it was like, oh, I can. It did me like 50 games for like 20 quid. Obviously, he knew what happened, so like, I'll just do all these. Give me 20 quid for discs. So I got like a load of games that I already had on PlayStation 2, but then doing new ones as well that I couldn't afford, full price at the time.
Was the Mega Drive the first console you had?
It was Master System and Mega Drive.
So the one before?
Yeah.
I had a first console I ever owned. My dad bought back a Mega Drive. I didn't even know what the fuck it was, you know what I mean? He just bought this Mega Drive, and I remember playing Sonic 1 was the game that we had. And then we had Sonic 2 and Streets of Rage, Golden
Axe. Yes, yeah. Streets of Rage, but I grew up on that.
That game was so good.
Yeah.
So good. They brought the the collection. I bought the collection on the 360. That's on the backwards compatible list. It came out. I was like, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
What other games of the Mega Drive? These are just highlight games I can remember playing. A game called Toe Jam in Hell. That was a good game. That was it really. I didn't really own masses of games for the Mega Drive. I just had the few. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles had like the expansion pack one. You stuck it in, and then you put like Sonic 2 or 3 in, and then you could play Knuckles in those games. It was really,
yeah.
From there, I think what happened next was we got a N64 pretty much on release. It was bought for my brother on his birthday, and he was really young at the time. He can barely hold the controller.
Yeah, that's one of them dad purchases, isn't it? It's
more, yeah.
It's for them, realer.
Yeah. We got it, and I remember my uncle getting Mario 64, which was like, the biggest thing ever back then. That game is so good. And I remember trying to get used to the analog stick on that game and just like getting my head around 3D. I remember just being blown away by it. Never really seen anything like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was quite late to the. From the N64 we had games like Mario 64, Zelda, which is my all-time favorite game at current time. F-Zero X, fucking love that game. Banjo-Kazooie, Super Smash Brothers, loads of games. So many good games.
Yeah.
Star Fox 64 or Light It Wars in this country. I love that game. And then we got a PlayStation. I remember going around my dad's friend's house, and he had 4 PlayStations in a box. Obviously nicked.
Oh, okay.
It was all fucking stolen off the back of a lorry. Do you know what I mean? But his mate was George. His name was George, and he said to me, "Christian, it's your birthday coming up, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you want a PlayStation?" I looked at him. I was like, "Do I want a PlayStation?" Of course I want a fucking PlayStation. What stupid question is that? Do you know what I mean? He goes, "Right, here you are. Just don't tell your dad." Do you know what I mean? What?
Nice.
And, Dad found out. He said, like, you can't have it yet. But I was like, I didn't think I was going to get one. And I remember on my birthday, I just opened it up, and it was, I had that. And the first game I got was Crash Bandicoot 3.
Yeah.
You can imagine how late I was to the PlayStation sort of bandwagon. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I got Crash Bandicoot 3, Warped. It was called. I love that game. It's such a good game. And I went back and played 2 and 1. Crash Team Racing, Spyro. I love Spyro.
Yeah, man.
Love those games. Were so good. I even bought all 3 of them on the fucking PS3 and played them again because I just, when I had a cousin of mine, quite young, came round and he's playing the PS3 with me. He goes, "Oh, what are you playing?" And I'm playing Spyro. He was like, oh, it's so boring and the graphic. I was like, I know. Like, to you, I can understand. Like, this looks shit. Do you know what I mean? But to me, this is it. This is, you know, I would happily go back and play PlayStation games. Do you know what I mean? Over some of the games that are coming out these days. He's like, oh, have you played the new Call of Duty? And I was like, oh, please. Like, so yeah, I mean, that was sort of my PlayStation. What else did I have? I had a game called Speed Freaks. That was a good game. 40 Winks was another good game. Gran Turismo. Had Gran Turismo.
So what got you onto?
Resident Evil.
What got you onto Xbox then?
Oh, I'll get to that. Let me get to that. From there, where do we go from there? Oh, that was it. I remember the Dreamcast coming out, and it was like the next generation when it was the one. And I remember my brother, it was near his birthday, and he really desperately wanted one. And there was a shop called, is it Electronic Boutique? I don't know if they're even around.
Yeah, I remember.
I think it was like an Australian. And we remember getting one in there, and the games that we got for that was Sonic Adventure. You had like Chow Chow something. That was a I think that was bundled with every Dreamcast. Jet Set Radio, what a cool game. And a few other games we have for the Dreamcast. Oh, Power Stones, that was a great game. But yeah, we didn't really play the Dreamcast for very long, because I think, to be honest, you know, a lot of the games, they sort of stopped making games for that pretty early on. There's a game called Shenmue. It was a really good game. I think they're making Shenmue 3 now. That was a good game. From there we got a PS2. And we had... my first game on that was Gran Turismo 3. I loved that game to bits. I like played the shit out of it. Me and my brother used to just like take turns doing races. I think it's more because it was the only game that we had.
Yeah.
Like, we just, and I remember,
Hammered it.
you know, that was for me, it was the first sort of standard definition gaming I remember playing and like loving. I can't really PS2, like the amount of games that came out on there, and I can remember some games that I really enjoyed. Like I loved the Jack and Daxter series, you know, the guys at Naughty Dog. I loved those games. Ratchet and Clank were really good. A game called Shadow of the Colossus was really good. Metal Gear Solid 2 was another one, a good game. Obviously the Grand Theft Auto series. I remember the Vice City one. You know, it was on a blue laser disc.
Yeah.
My console just could not read it, and it just fucked. So it just basically, you know, I'm about to get a new PS2. And obviously, when you're young, it's a bit hard to try and convince your mum to buy another fucking PS2.
Yeah. But you've already got one.
Yeah. But mum is fucked. He won't. Please.
They don't understand.
Yeah. Eventually, after nagging, I think I got my dad to get it because my parents have split, and I just said to Dad, look, you know, we need a new console. And we just went on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And eventually, it's like, right.
Yeah.
I remember me and my brother selling pretty much all our PS1 games and stuff, and we ended up buying a GameCube. And that was the console I played the most over that generation. Like we played the shit out of the GameCube, but not many people like it. But I love that console so much. Sort of Mario again and Wind Waker and whatnot. Remember, I think my brother got the original Xbox, but he only had a few games. And we also had like Halo 2 and Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that, and a game called Blinks. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we had that, and we had some other games, and then from obviously then, I remember I wasn't really following games. I just played the heck of a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? And I remember just walking into Woolworths of all places, and they had a demo kit for the 360, and I was like, oh my fucking god! You know, I remember seeing Perfect Dark on there, and I could not believe the graphics. I was that, you know, we were just that impressed. And I was like, I have to own one of these, but I was really late to the whole pre-order thing, and they're going to be out in like a couple of days. And I wasn't really, I was a PlayStation / Nintendo guy. I didn't really care for the Xbox, but because the reason why I'm into Xbox so much more now is because it was the first console to come out of that generation. So it was the one I got.
Yeah.
It was the only reason.
I think that's why.
If PS3 came out first, I probably would have been a PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
I would have been backing them all the way. But because 360 came out that whole year earlier, and I saw, I got Perfect Dark. I remember because anyway I got it in the end, I got it off eBay for 400 quid on Christmas Eve. I saved all my money at the time. I think I was only 16 when it came out, and I remember I just desperately wanted this console. I had a job at the time, and I was just like, right, let's make this happen. And most of the consoles, because I got it in 2005 when it released. Obviously, people were selling on eBay for Christmas for like $1,000 plus.
Yeah, man.
There was somebody on there that sold it for 400 quid. I was like, right, that's reasonable. I can stretch to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's where Xbox made the name, the 360 coming out that year earlier and stuff. Had a big enough of a gap.
Yeah, man. They just got it out quicker. And then, do you know what? I never played any games online before the 360, and I remember having it because it shipped with the Ethernet cable, didn't it? It had the Ethernet cable and a headset thing. And I was really desperate. I was like, right, sorry, I got it. Yeah, because it had like all that stuff, and then obviously they said you get a 3 months membership.
Yeah.
To try it out, and I was really intrigued. And I was like, right, okay. So I worked out how to set it all up, and I remember my first ever game online was on Perfect Dark. And I was talking to this guy. I remember saying hello, and you just like you really feel really awkward.
Yeah.
And I said, oh.
Like you've never spoken to another human being before.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know what I'm talking about. like you're talking to a really hot bird or something. I remember saying, I said something really dumb, like, do you like this game or something like that? And he was like, yeah, like nerd. And that was it really. From then on, I just, I had my gamer tag, and I just started building up. I love GameScore as well. That was one thing I wasn't really into at the beginning, and then I started working my way through some games and got like 1000G, and that was it. I was like, right. The Xbox was the one, and once the PS3 came out, I remember looking at it, thinking about me and my brother was like, oh, should we get one? And we saw the price tag for it. It's like £500 to £600 at the time when it came out, and we was like, what? Like the 360 was nowhere near that price market, and then they were like, yeah, it's it's worth this much because of this cell processing bullshit or whatever it was.
Yeah, but you see, with the 360 though to the PS3, there were nothing in it.
Yeah.
But then obviously now you've got like the One and the PS4, and the One can't even get to 1080p on 90% of game, 99% of games. So it's like there's a difference now.
But I still believe, like when I think of like if I was to if I'm to join this bandwagon of fanboy fucking idiots, and I'm gonna start arguing, I would always still back the Xbox. And the reason, forget the Ps, right? Because end of the day, the games look great on both. Okay.
Oh yeah. There's not that much
checking P. If you're really into checking in Ps and stuff, all that stuff, then okay, there's a difference with the PS4. You're gonna get a better image, but it's minuscule, and most TVs can't even. It's unrecognizable unless you got a big old 55-inch like me and you, probably Then it's a bit different. But when I argue Xbox and that, it goes back to the online, and for me, the Xbox is where it's at. Their online infrastructure is just so much more superior to the PS4s by a country mile. And you can make that argument back on the 360. Well, yeah, it was free on PS3. There's a reason why it's free. It's because it's shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was paying the 360, a lot of my mates were like, oh, come to PS3, it's free. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm happy to pay him 40 quid a year because I get fucking party chats and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I had a lot of my mates were like, oh yeah, well, so I'm going to get a PS4 because it's going to be free. And then it came out, and they're like, oh yeah, you're going to have to pay now. Like, gutted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh.
Well, no, that obviously, Xbox made a lot of money, didn't they? Like, what were it? 8 years the 360 were out.
Yeah.
So 8 years at 40 quid a year.
Got it.
And a lot of people didn't even want to commit to that, so they were paying like 5 quid a week. So it ended up being like 60 quid for a year.
Yeah, exactly. It just made me laugh that people used to think that that was the argument that they were gonna.
Oh, where's this
Yeah,
fucking
that was the
prick
argument
gone?
there.
He's disappeared again, man.
I remember I had a friend come around who only had a PS3, and he was playing the Xbox One with me. And I think it was Nella who sent me a party chat. He goes, "Well, what's a party chat?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just a chat system." And he goes, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah, you know, PS3's got that." Anyway, and then someone else joined it. He goes, "What? 3 people can join the same chat?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "We can have up to 8." And he's like, "Fuck off." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And I was like, and then when they started doing, you can play, you know, the whole chat thing. You can play in different games and stuff. Because what he's playing FIFA and you're playing, you know, X, Y, Z. And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You can't do that on PS3." I go, "Yeah, I know. It's like, this is what I've been trying to say to you for the last fucking 3 years, but you're so fucking ignorant. You don't even want to listen to me." I go, "That's the reason why it's fucking free."
Yeah, I had a few friends on on PS as well. And then when they got hacked, you're like, haha.
Yeah, then they got fucking shut down for like 3 to 4 weeks or whatever it was, didn't they, when they got fucking hacked to shit. I was like,
I've got someone I can rely on watching my back.
you know, alright, that's not.
Nick.
It's unfortunate, do you know what I mean? And Sony should have dealt with that better than they did, you know. At least they got themselves. I mean, I'm glad for them that, you know, the PS4 is doing well, you know, doing really well, and I've got nothing against the PS4. I mean, I think it's a good console. I just don't think, for me, the exclusives are there. You know, and for me as well, like, I put a lot of money to Xbox, and I prefer their dashboard and their party chat system and stuff like that. So, when you weigh out the pros and cons, for me, it's always going to be Xbox. For now on, anyway.
I'm gonna play. I'm like, obviously I bought a PS4 now, so I'm gonna play Uncharted. I'm gonna do God of War. I've already done Last of Us before, but I will probably end up doing it again to see the difference on the PS4. But
yeah,
I don't know if I like the online. I've seen the videos are online and it's not.
Well, with the Uncharted.
Yeah, like not just that, but Last of Us and that as well, and obviously it's a bit like Tomb Raider, you know, the control scheme and stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think that's why I like.
Shit, don't think of Tomb Raider, mate.
I think that's why I like Gears of War so much. There's a movement on the game. Obviously the standalone for the story is and that as well. You think you'll always be an Xbox person then?
I don't know. You know, I don't know what the future holds. Like, personally, I think I will be. Do you know what I mean? I just think the console. I just think the infrastructure, like the online service and that, is just so much more better.
Yeah.
Than what the PS4 can provide. That is the only reason, really, and the exclusives. I just think that Xbox have better exclusives that interest me more than PS4s.
Well, when I ran the PlayStation the other day, I was having a look on the store thing, and they've got PlayStation Now, and I think it's £12 a month to play to play old games.
This is it. This spot 200 years ago. One of Eddie's boys.
So yeah, just to play old games, it's like £12 a month, or you can rent them.
Nah, see, that's just bullshit to me. Like,
Jenny and Nick.
Okay, I'm kind of waiting to.
for old games like that, you know, especially PS2 age, like that should be a price range. If you want to buy them, I reckon anything from like $3.99 to $5.99, £5, around that price bracket. That's where I'm thinking. You know, not fucking £10, £15, or whatever it is. It's just ridiculous.
Long lost Institute archive. I was ever just a mechanical copy.
It's not bad, obviously, if you don't own the games from last gen, but like
Yeah, that's cool.
But
like,
£13 a month. I know you can play whatever you want whenever you want, but you're still charging £13 a month to play old games.
exactly. So what's that? That's £13 a month plus your £40, £49.99, whatever it is, just to fucking play PlayStation online.
But it's not.
So you're talking 60 odd quid now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had his memories, his fears, bastard's hope. I remember getting the call to head to some lab in Cambridge to get that neurotrans whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm in a trash heap.
I don't know. I don't know.
My entire life gone. Then I discover all those things that they weren't even mine.
I'm still waiting to see how much they're going to charge for PlayStation 2 games now.
I hope with winter gone, the last hint of that old world.
Well, they're like 15 quid a go, aren't they?
Finally be free.
What is how much they're going to be charging?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like they're like $10.99, some of them to 15 quid a
Oh.
It
go.
wasn't about Nick,
Wow.
Jenny, or even you or me.
That to me is too much. I don't know about what you think, but
Oh yeah.
way too much money.
And that act of goodness, that's ours.
Even if they have been upgraded.
All the good we've done, that's ours.
Upgraded,
Ours
right? Yeah.
alone. Even if that's the only thing.
How well? I mean, how much can you upgrade a PS2 game?
Not
They're doing it to 1080p.
mine. And I can die happy.
Right, so it
None
looks a
of
little
it
bit
would have
smoother.
ever happened
It's still
if
going to
it
be
wasn't
shitty
for
graphics. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like.
Not
Yeah.
sure I'll ever be able to thank you for that.
You don't have to, Nick. We're friends. This is what friends do.
I don't know. I wouldn't pay that price
Well,
for a
come on,
PS2 game.
Not
No.
really
Wouldn't.
anyone standing around here.
They did the Jack and Daxter collection, HD collection. They redid them all in HD, and I bought all three of them for £15. Now I thought that was a bargain. I thought that was really good. Now they're charging £15 per game. Nah.
Blame you if you wanted some.
Reach maximum relationship level with a companion. Cool.
How cute.
Of course. Let's do it.
Glad to hear it.
Reach level 49 as well.